clear dawning light of the millennium of the 21st century, our world awoke to a new day. This was a day filled with promise. The promise of renewal. A day also tense with trepidation as we waited the effects of the Y2K bug scenario, the possible failure of our computing technology. January 1st, 2000 was also a day in which most people of the world were united in their wish for peace. In that dawning light, could we have foreseen our future? Were the signs at hand? Some would say yes. «
5 et 40 degrés, le ciel brûlera, feu approché de la grande cité neuve. Instant grande flamme esparse sautera, quand on voudra des Normands faire preuve. At 45 degrees, the sky will burn. Fire approaches the great new city. Immediately, a huge scattered flame leaps up when they want to have verification from the Normans.
The optimism so quickly faded. The world was stunned, horrified, as the events of September 11 dominated. With all the advancements in world technology, why weren't we warned? It seemed our future world and its stability was lost in a few disastrous moments. We stood witness to live media coverage of America under attack. The destruction of the World Trade Center, unforgettable visions of the Twin Towers. The attack on the Pentagon. And the desolation of the field in which United Airlines Flight 93 ended its journey. The over 3,800 people from many nations whose lives abruptly ended. The families and loved ones of the victims will forever hold in memory the events of September 11. As will all those who stood witness to the horrific images of the unfolding disaster and rescue effort. Why could we not have stopped this? Were there warnings there for us to see? The flash of exploding planes and fuel marked in seconds an event whose aftershocks still impact upon us. If our global environment is so precarious, what can we depend on? Who can we trust? Where do we look to for our future?
Le tiers premier pique ne fit Néron. The first of the third will do worse than Nero. He will be as valiant in draining as in shedding human blood. He will cause ovens to be built. Prosperity will be at an end. And this new leader will cause great scandals.
If Nostradamus predicted the events, why didn't we listen? Nostradamus wrote these prophecies in the 16th century. However, prophecy has a tradition that is much older than those writings. Thousands of years ago, the Mayans first carved their future into stone tablets, the centerpiece, a mandala that we call the Mayan calendar.
In every cycle of 1,144 years, which represents one of the Mayan worlds, in each one of these cycles there's 13 Lords of Light and 9 Lords of Darkness, according to them. And each one of them rules for 52 years, and that makes up a total of 1,144 years. And they predicted that Hitler would reign from 1935, which he did, and he was the last Lord of Darkness, so we aren't having any more Lords of Darkness. We're finished with that era, totally.
Never before in the quest for verification have we searched so far and so widely. We've embraced information from Aboriginal legends to the Jewish teachings of the Kabbalah in our attempts to find the truth that we seek.
That think it's the kind of subject matter that a lot of people are looking for, because Kabbalah is a hidden, mysterious kind of movement in the eyes of many. And truth to say, it's a highly rational, cogent system that explores and understands the nature of the psyche of the human being, the nature of the cosmos, and the interface and how these interrelate. So it's really something which I know that people today are most interested in.
Yet prediction is something that we expect to look to in our daily lives.
In our seasonal climate outlook service, which is our operational system, what we do is we look back in the observational records, both the oceanographic records and the rainfall records, and temperature records as well, and we look at the statistics, the relationship between the rainfall that occurred and the ocean temperatures that occurred. And on the basis of that, we can make forecasts for what might happen next. So we look at periods which were similar to the period that we're in at the moment, and then we look back at those periods and what sort of rainfall occurred in the following months. And that gives an indication of what might occur next. Human ability to predict is limited. There's still room for improvement for weather and climate, definitely, but we should never expect that we're going to have forecasts out to 10 years with high degree of accuracy. It's very, very unlikely that it's going to occur.
No matter what our rational minds tell us, it seems impossible not to consider the apparent signs that are provided from our past.
Le Grand Bailiff d'Orléans mis à mort. The Great Bailiff of Orleans put to death. It will be by one who is vindicative for his blood. He will not die a deserved death, nor one by his terror. Hands and feet will be poorly tied. The ancient work will be accomplished, and from the roof, evil ruin will fall on the great man. Being dead, of the deed they will accuse an innocent. The guilty one is hidden in the misty corpse.
Over 500 years ago in England, Mother Shipton was burned at the stake for the crime of witchcraft. In the late 60s, a collection of her prophecies was discovered in the Mitchell Library in Sydney. How they came to Australia remains very much a mystery. But what is even stranger, the writings predict their own discovery 500 years after Mother Shipton's death. They also appear to have predicted major events in our time.
A war will follow where the work, where dwells the pagan and the Turk. These states will lock in fiercest strife and seek to take each other's life. This prophecy will come to be.